Hi there, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to do my everyday makeup routine that I'm doing currently. So I do this when I'm working my regular 9-hour day at my job and I need the makeup to last all day. So I do work in a dental office and I work more in the administration side. Prior to 2020, I didn't wear a mask very often, but now I wear a mask for most of the day. But I do also take that mask off to talk to families. So I do have a barrier set up in my office. So I'm able to take my mask off a little bit. And so when I take my mask off, I want my makeup to look nice. So these are the products that I'm using and the way I'm using them now to help my makeup last for a full work day. So I'll go through that with you. The first thing I do is I prime. I'm using this Good Molecules Silicone-Free Priming Moisturizer. It's a great moisturizing primer, just what it says. And I do put this everywhere. Now, underneath this, I've already done all of my AM skincare. That's already all done. So I just put this everywhere. It's very light. It doesn't really have a scent. It actually reminds me of the Face Base by Bobbi Brown, which is one of my favorite products, but so much more expensive than this. And then I do want to put some pore minimizing primer around my nose. So I use the E.L.F. It's the Poreless Putty Primer. I do also have the Tatcha Putty, well, it's not Putty Primer, I don't know what it's called, but the Tatcha one, but it's almost empty, so I bought this one to try it, and I like it. I think it's a great dupe for that one, and, you know, so much less expensive. So I just put that there, and then I go in with my foundation. So the one that I use the most often is the IT CC Cream, and I use this in shade Fair. I find this concealer or the foundation very high coverage, so I just try to go in with one pump and really spread it because I don't want my makeup to look heavy even though I want it to last all day. So I'm going to go in with the E.L.F sponge and just blend all of that in. Just take a spot on the sponge where I haven't been using, where there's no product, and I go over kind of the center part of my face because where my pores are bigger, if there's lots of product there, it will look heavy in the day. So I'm just going through and removing some of that. Okay, then I go in with my concealer. This is the E.L.F Hydrating Camo Concealer. This is such a great product. And again, I'm not going to use very much. Like a little dot there, a little bit there, a little bit there. And then I let that sit for a minute, dry down a little bit. And sometimes I'll put it in other places if I have blemishes and stuff to cover, but I don't today. So just under the eyes. And then I'm going to blend. Now, I'm keeping it mostly where the darkness is. So for me, that's right on the inner corner. And so both top and bottom, inner corner, that's where I'm keeping most of that product. And just again, really pressing it in, really blending it in. And then once most of the product is deposited there, I will take whatever's left and do around the outside. But most of my fine lines are around the outside, so I want very little product out there. And then as soon as I'm done with my concealer, I'm gonna set it. So I have this Hourglass palette. It's the Ambient Lighting Edit Ghost palette. And the one I'm gonna use is the Finishing Powder Diffused Light. So it's this one, and that's the one I'm gonna use under my eyes. So I just take a little bit, not very much at all, And I'm just gonna powder, because if I don't, I almost immediately get creasing. And I'm using very little powder. Just enough to set that concealer. And then also, I'll just press places where I get wrinkles, or where I get creasing, I guess I should say. And just do a little bit like that. Okay, then I'm gonna go in with cream products. So again, I'm gonna use the cream products, and then I'm gonna go over them with powder, just to help them stay longer. If I wasn't, wearing a mask and working a long day, I would just go in with these cream products and be done. So I'm gonna take the Fenty Cream Blush, and this is in the shade Petal Poppin'. I'm gonna use my sponge, and I'm just gonna dab. And then I'm gonna start on my cheek here and go up and back. And blend that in. And I'm trying to keep it high. And then again, go in. Okay. Next, I'm going to take my highlighter. I'm going to use the Colourpop. This is the Super Shock Cheek in Lunch Money is the shade. And again, I'm taking my sponge. Put some on there. And I like to do this C shape around my eye, and even dab a little bit on my brow bone. There, just like that. And do the other side. And same thing. Do that C shape. And whatever's left on my brow bone. Then I'm going to take a cream bronzer. I like the Milk Makeup. This is in, I think it just says matte bronzer for the shade. So it's cream. Just find a spot on my sponge I haven't used. And go on my forehead. Just like that. Try to shorten that forehead a little bit. Now we're going to set everything with powder. So again, if I wasn't working a long day, if I didn't need this to last, 10, 12 hours, I would be done here. I would do brows and eyes, use some setting spray, and be done. But I want this to really last. So I'm going to go in with a powder. This is the Ciate London Everyday Vacay. And it's a really fine powder. And I'm just going to take the smallest amounts. I'm gonna barely dip my brush in there and then bounce it off on the lid. Try to get, some of it off so it's not, I don't want heavy powder, but I want a set. And I'm gonna focus this mostly on my T-zone and the bottom of my cheeks and my neck. Now, not a lot of powder, I used very little. But I do have dry skin, so if you have oily skin, you might need more, but this is how much I use. Okay, and then just because I love how it looks, I'm gonna go back into this Ghost palette, and I'm gonna use the finishing powder in Dim Light. So it's this one at the top here. I'm not gonna take a lot, just a little bit, and go over those same areas. This is such a pretty finish, especially over, well, any makeup look really, but it kind of gives you a very natural, I don't want to say shine, but sort of a shimmer to the skin. And this one I'm going to take right up and even go over that blush that I put down there. and just put it everywhere. Okay, and then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna go over all of my blush, bronzer, and highlights with powders just to help them stay. So I'm gonna just stick with this palette. I'm gonna use this blush here. This is the Sublime Flush blush. It's a soft pink. And I'm just gonna go over where I put that cream blush here. Go back in there. And I keep it high and I bring it up. And then whatever's left, I'll put a little bit across my nose and on my chin. And then for highlight, again, same palette. I'm gonna use this highlight here. This is the Strobe Powder Iridescent Strobe Light. And just right in that C shape where we put that Colourpop creamy one. And then I'm also gonna go over the bronzer. And the bronzer shade is there. That's in the shade Eternal Bronze Light. And then whatever's left down my neck. Okay, so that's my base done. And then for brows, I'm gonna just spoolie them up. This will be hard to do filming because it's just a little tiny picture of myself I see. I do have a little mirror sitting right here, so I might have to use that. So I spoolie them up. I do have quite a lot of brow hair, so my goal is just to fill in where it's sparse, you know, kind of make them even. This is the Eyebrow by Benefit, and I have it in the shade 5. It's the mini one, but it's lasted forever. So I bought the little mini one just to try it, to see if I liked it, and I do. It's really nice. It's easy, quick and easy. But I've probably had this little mini one for a year. So I'm gonna look in my little mirror over here just to see. And I just do little strokes up, and again, just where I've got some sparseness. Also get my brows tinted, so right now they're pretty freshly tinted, so this is even quicker. But just adding a little bit there and at the front, and then I'll go do the other side. So same thing, mostly it's at the front where I'm adding, where I've got little gaps. And then fill out the tail. So, like that. And then I take my spoolie and I go back through just to even it out. Like that. And then I take a clear gel to hold everything in place because I have a little bit of unruly brows. So I'm going to use the Anastasia brow gel in clear. I've heard some people say that they find this crusty. I don't really, but once I set them, I'm not playing with them through the day, so maybe it's crusty, I don't know. But it does hold them really well. And I like them to look full, so I kind of just do them, brush them up through the whole thing. And there, brows are done. And then I don't typically wear eye makeup, like eyeshadow, eyeliner, any of that to work. So I just put on some mascara and then I'm gonna set with a setting spray and then I'm done. So I always do a primer. And I'm gonna today use the L'Oreal Voluminous Primer. I do a primer and then I typically do a coat or two of mascara as well. And for primer, just a light, super light coat. I feel like it just helps to separate them and give them length. So like that. And then I go in pretty much straight away with the mascara. Now again, I'm gonna have to use my little mirror over here because I won't be able to see in the little side view. This is also by L'Oreal. This is the Lash Paradise. I think it's the best mascara out there. If you like lots of volume, lots of length, which I do. So that's one coat. There, you can see the difference. One eye done and one eye with nothing. So I'll do the other eye quick. There we go, both eyes done. So that's the makeup pretty much done. I will wear a lip balm typically under my mask at work. Sometimes I'll wear a tinted lip balm, but typically just a clear lip balm. These ones are nice. These are the sugar or the fresh sugar lip balms. I have a whole bunch of these little mini ones. I bought a set at Christmas time. They do add just a little bit of color, but they're also very hydrating. I really like them. See, it just added a bit of color. It does go on the inside of the mask, but if you kind of are careful where you place your mask, it's nice because it hydrates the lips and stays on. So typically I just use something like that, usually just a lip balm under my mask. And then I do set my makeup. So I use two setting sprays. The first one I'm going to use is this Cover FX. This is the illuminating setting spray. You do have to shake it or the glitter all settles to the bottom. And then I just do a light spray. Just like that. And then I take my sponge and I just gently pat over, just in case there's any little larger droplets that are gonna look glittery through the day. And then I go in with the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. And I really give it a good spray. And then I fan. Just with a pad of paper, because that's what I have here. So that's it. That's my makeup routine that I'm doing right now every day for work. And this makeup will last. It lasts through the day, through mask wear. Again, I have dry skin, so it's not like I'm producing a lot of oils. I don't have to blot in the day or powder in the day. This really lasts for me. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.